clicked go live before realizing that I did not put away the Poshmark stuff I was listing. And now I feel like I'm just messy and chaotic, and it's gonna throw off my energy. That's where Amanda's head is. And I probably could move it because I don't think Amy's gonna be in here for a couple minutes, because I decided to jump in 5 minutes early because my anxiety was spritzing all over the place, and I figured, you know what? I'm just gonna get in and be with friends, be with my community, and hopefully it'll help bring it down. So I had taken a few breaths and taken a few sips of water and jumped on in. So as you can probably tell by the thumbnail, still feeling like the sky is falling and the world's on fire. How about you guys? Hello, Lass. Hello, Lazoo. Is that how you say it? And Brett. See, that's how I know that you guys gave the bell some kisses, because you saw that I went live 5 minutes early. See, this is a test. Hello, Autistic Warrior. Whew. So, yeah, I'll give a couple minutes for everybody to stream on in. In the meantime, I just want to do the normal housekeeping, that this is just a stream where I like to check in with the community, share where I'm at, ask you guys where you're at, so we can share our wins and our struggles, and just talk about our mental health, because we might not have another place to go to talk about it. So I just want to give everybody a safe space to come and open up and share and get feedback and support and validation. With that being said, anything I say is based on my experiences or my experiences in interacting with others. I do have a bachelor's degree in forensic psychology, so I do have a psych degree, psych background, but I am not a licensed mental health professional. So if you are in an urgent situation, if you are having a mental health emergency, please make sure that you're getting the support that you deserve by reaching out to either the local emergency room or a mental health professional or the hotline. So Steve asks, how are you doing a few days after the initial shock? Still feel like I'm in shock, to be honest with you. I still feel like, for those that don't know, that didn't watch the last stream, it was totally unscheduled, unprompted. We got a 60-day notice to vacate, so we are, just feeling like everything is scattered, everything's in the air. I do want to be clear that the goal this week is still 250, but it's going to be going to me for the foreseeable future, as opposed to the community outreach, until I can stabilize so that I can do the outreach, so that I can continue helping. So I'm still trying to do as much as I can in providing at least emotional support and stuff for people in the community. But at this time, I cannot provide financial support. So that is the goal. The pledges are going to me to help stabilize the situation. Every little bit helps. You can use a super chat or super sticker function, and it also helps me make sure that I see your message. I'm also going to open up my email. So if you want to make a bigger pledge, please make sure that you are using PayPal or Venmo, so YouTube doesn't take their cut. And then I'll see it here and I'll add that to the total. I am early, David. I was a few minutes early. I was just feeling a lot of anxiety and wanted to come in. Plus, I can't stay late today. Unfortunately, we do have an event, so we have to get right off here exactly at 5 and then eat and then go to the event. So I wanted to give everybody a few extra minutes. So I feel like a lot of people are having the sky is falling energy right now, where a lot of unexpected things are happening and it's causing a lot of anxiety. And I'm trying to be as graceful as possible in handling this, so I can be a good example, for you guys and for Bryson and for everyone in my circle. But inside my head, I'm just going, ah. Yeah, don't forget what I told you after I get settled. Did you tell me in a message? I know that you guys will understand this. My brain frog. Guess I miss my dad. My brain frog is just next level right now, because I was watching The Office with Aaron last night, and I could not focus on what was going on. And it's a simple show, right? It's a simple concept and everything. It's not a complicated storyline. I could not remember. So please don't take it personally if I don't remember anything right now. I don't remember what I ate for lunch or if I ate lunch today. So that's a thing. But also, if you are a member of the channel, that's also an excellent way of supporting the community, and you'll get a free super chat or super sticker each stream, as well as the use of the amazing little wolfie emojis. Hello, Iced and Steve and Triangles and Demon. Valerian. Merci beaucoup. And Sean, David says, I see Earl sitting behind you by the light switch. You're not supposed to be looking behind me because, like I said, I didn't put away the stuff I was listing for Poshmark. So you're not supposed to look behind you right now. You can't see my shame. Oh, thank you very much, T. That's right. You did say that. Minnesota. Hello. Hope that you are staying sane over there. I know things are a little up in the air over there. Hello, hello. I'm glad that everybody is jumping in here. Did I get all of my, I think I got all of my housekeeping out of the way. Like I said, I'm going to start saying brain frog now just because it's very Amanda. It checks. It's very hard to focus on anything right now because there are so many moving parts, and no pun intended, and so many different things to think about. And then when it's okay, I'm trying to get everything stabilized, and I'm trying to, run the sales on Posh and Pango, and I'm trying to book more dogs, and I'm trying to book side stuff, and I'm trying to, do the streams and do these things to figure things out financially and sell everything I can. And then I get hit with, it's time to renew your auto insurance. And I'm just, yeah, whatever. And just click. I can't make this up. Like, such perfect timing. So amazing. So yeah, sometimes I was saying yesterday, I think it was yesterday, or a couple days ago, or a month ago, for all I know, to David, I said, people will come to me and they'll say, man, it's just like, it's one thing after another in life. And I'm going, I'm jealous because it's not one thing after another for me. It's like 7 things piled on top of each other at all times. So yeah. Do I appear to be doing better, Brett? I hope that I appear to be doing better. I'm really trying to find my footing. It's just difficult. It's just plain difficult. There's no sugarcoating it. There's no trying to make it pretty and dress it up. It's just freaking difficult. And obviously there are positive things in it, but it's hard and I'm exhausted, honestly. I'm just in a place that I don't really know. I don't know what my next step is, and that's a hard thing for me. So I'm just trying to figure out my next step. Steve says, how do I get more XP? Is that what the crown thing is? Do I have to grind? Yes, it makes, it is for regular community members. So depending on pledges and comments and things like that, how active you are here and in videos and stuff, like in the comments section, it will move you up the leaderboard. I don't really know a lot about that. I see it on different channels as well, that there's some kind of leaderboard based on your activities. So it's just like a top fan thing. So apparently T. Montgomery is the top fan right now, or David is the top fan. So I guess there's tiers of like top fans, from my understanding. Yeah. Yes. The number, you're correct. The number of comments and tips get you XP. So is 75 a good number in that category? Yes, I think it is. Steve says, well, my roommate says I never shut up, so that shouldn't be a hard challenge. Oh, as you can tell, especially when I'm feeling anxious, just ramble and ramble and ramble. Let's share the good news story while I'm going to allow everyone to get in their struggles. So we start with struggles, and then I will read the good news story. We'll read through the struggles, talk about that a little bit, do our community wins with the Snap Cup, and then just answer any questions or anything anybody has. And in the meantime, you can just do pledges and stuff whenever, wherever. Oh, and David's not here to do his Shakira dancing. I'm disappointed. Okay, let's read. It's a good news story. So, singing contest in Rio prison offers creative outlet for women behind bars. A group of Brazilian women behind bars applied makeup, donned gowns, and competed in a singing contest held on Friday in a Rio de Janeiro prison held during an event designed to spotlight talents and boost confidence ahead of the detainees' release. Is anybody else a big fan of I Still Did Last Summer? And you're sitting here going, "Oh, I know Rio is not the capital of Brazil." Any other fans of that movie in here? It's like my favorite slasher movie, so I can't help but think of it while I'm reading about Brazil. Without a vast, echoing, multi-purpose hall, the 15 candidates took turns to sing their hearts out on a purple-themed stage in front of an audience made up of prison officials, volunteers, and fellow detainees who clapped and sang along with them. Many performed gospel songs, while others offered interpretations of MPB, the acronym for Brazilian popular music in Portuguese, including Black Sheep by the much-loved late singer Rita Lee. A panel of jurors composed of actor and TV presenter David Brazil and singer Mauricio Matar, among others, watched carefully, attributing scores for voice, performance, presentation, and charm. Fernando Fernandez Dominguez, 36, won the first prize. Music is a way to strengthen myself in this moment of sadness because being imprisoned is sad. Being deprived of our freedom in singing, our body is imprisoned, but our voice can go wherever it wants. Our mind can cross borders, she said. Months before the big day, the candidates from 4 detention facilities auditioned, rehearsed, and ran makeup, costume, and hair tests, adding variety and stimulation to a repetitive prison routine. The day of the competition, known as Voice of Liberty, the women prepped in a room complete with mirrors, and I feel like that's dangerous. I guess I don't know what level facility this is, but and addressing screen by vocalizing and shaking their arms to release nervous energy. Excellent idea, by the way. That's a really good thing. Sometimes when I'm anxious, I do that. Just move your body because it helps burn out the energy. Rilarly Christina Late, 31, used to sing in bars, at parties, and at church before being arrested 6 years ago. She's due to leave prison in less than a year and said that the show was an opportunity to help her along the path of rehabilitation by showcasing her skills. It's magical because we're doing what we want. It means liberation for us. We're in prison and art liberates us, Light said, adding that her dream is to sing at the Rock in Rio Festival. This year's competition, with the theme of hope and emancipation, was the third organized by Rio de Janeiro's State Prison Administration Authority. Maria Rosa Loduca Nebel, Rio's State Secretary for Penitentiary Administration, said the objective of prison is also to rehabilitate the work, studies, reading, and life on Friday through culture. It also helps with the atmosphere within the facility. She said, yeah, because it's causing them to work together. It's enhancing their moods. There's a lot of benefits to that. And I always like programs that help either incarcerated individuals or formerly incarcerated individuals. As a formerly incarcerated individual myself, it really helps to move them toward rehabilitation and not just focusing on punitive measures. Thank you so much. Yes, shower David with love. Give him love, all the love. David deserves all the love, considering his back must be killing him for carrying our pledge goals here. Let's give David's back some breaks. Okay, let's give David's back a break so we can get our pledges up there. He's not having to carry it on his birthday week. Oh, Shondara says, gotta go to work. Have a good night. Sorry you couldn't stay longer. I'm glad you stopped by. I hope you have a good night as well. Steve's absolutely right. Bad programming shouldn't be a reason to be punished until the end of time, and neither should a mistake that you made in life. Like I said, I'm a formerly incarcerated individual. I had made a mistake, and I was paying for the mistake by being there. But when you strip them of every single comfort, every single ability to rehabilitate, all you're doing is perpetuating the crime when they do get out, when they do get on the other side of it, or the crime within the facility. So it creates a very unsafe environment for not only the prisoners, but the personnel that are there, and then for those that are getting out, for the general public after they do get out. So I firmly believe that rehabilitation should be the focus. I mean, obviously, you're being punished by being in prison. It shouldn't be completely a punitive focus. Thursday, I will be 49, one more year before 50. Party before I'm older. Yes! I've been part of programs like that help rehabilitate and stuff. So I think it's a very rewarding bit of work to do. It's okay that you are late. JoJo says, sorry, I'm late. Just finished seeing a clip from ESPN about Paul George getting suspended for taking a prescription Not approved by the NBA. Ironically, he was taking it for his mental health. That's really frustrating. I don't know the story, but that sounds very, very frustrating based on what you're saying. Oh, dog mom's here. Let's see. McLowan says, yo, I have schizophrenia. I know there's several people in here that are living with schizophrenia, so hopefully some of them are in the stream today and you guys can connect and stuff and hold space for each other. Steve says, I'm an atheist, but I do find it funny that no one seems to follow the he who has never sinned shall throw the first stone, or however that quote goes. Yeah. He says without sin should throw the first stone. Yeah. Yep, I agree. I'm also an atheist, and I agree that there's a lot of unnecessary judgment without knowing someone's situation, where there's just a stigma of, oh, you spent time in a facility, you spent time in a jail or a prison, so you're automatically a bad person. And I've been called, a bad person for that, or for my former addiction. And I had a really good friend who was saying that all addicts should be given a hot shot, like an overdose of their drug of choice, and left to die. And that specific person I had helped quite immensely. And I said, do you realize that you would be on the streets if that was a thing? Because I wouldn't be here to have helped you. And it wasn't an effort to guilt, but it was an effort that you don't know who these people are, what good they can be doing, So if you're just saying, hey, because you've spent time in jail or prison, or because you have fallen into addiction, basically because you made decisions that had an undesirable outcome in the end, that you don't deserve any level of grace or ability to rehabilitate or ability to make things right. That's ridiculous to me. I grew up with magic school bus. It's never too late to correct a mistake, all right? Words of Miss Frizzle. Yunning says, I just bought the book of the DSM-5. Yep, highly recommend it. It was necessary for school. So yes, I have a copy somewhere floating around of the DSM-5. I don't think it's up here right now, but I do have a copy of it. And it is very helpful to understand more about different disorders and stuff. Steve says, I find that people that lash out at you are usually fighting an inner demon, can't take it personally and seek revenge. I always say, before you ask someone about their anger, ask them about their pain. Because if someone is lashing out, it's because they're hurting. Happy people don't just lash out. David, I love you, David. I love you. Thank you. David says, people in my past told me I'd be judged badly because of my tattoos. I take pride in showing them off and still being seen and appreciated for my value. I'm really glad that it seems we're moving away from that mentality since more and more people are getting tattoos and it's being more normalized. But I remember even back in my teenage years when it was highly, highly stigmatized, and people would judge a person based on whether or not they had tattoos and judge their morality. And I never did understand that, because it's just a way to display artwork. So I never understood why it was seen as a way to gauge moral character. That's very strange to me. My favorite Amanda quote, happy people don't attack others. Or, the Elwoods, happy people just don't shoot their husbands. They just don't. So I do want to hold space for anyone that's having struggles. So if you are having struggles, feel free to share that. I want to make sure that we get that. But if you do share a struggle, you have to share a win. That's the rule around here. Even if your win is itty bitty and your struggle is enormous, you have to share both. Okay, so if you share a struggle, you have to share a win. We can help you come up with one if need be. Demon says, I have a tattoo of a demon on my calf, and one person called it the devil. It was kind of funny, but at the same time annoying. People just don't understand. And I know that people are just a product of their environment and the things that they've been exposed to, but it is super frustrating. I had an experience when I was younger where I was wearing a pinnacle, and I was Wiccan at the time, but it was a sign of the elements, of spirit, earth, air, fire, water. And this woman, she was very, very religious. I was in a small town in a very religious small town, and she's very religious, and she tried to say that I was worshiping the devil and make all these accusations. And the symbol of Satanism is actually a pentagram with the point down, with the point of the star facing down. But even then, Satanists don't worship Satan. But she was saying I was a devil worshiper and all this, and I had to explain to her, no, this is a pinnacle. It's a sign of the elements. And to her credit, she did go research and then came back and apologized to me, which I remember this interaction because of it. Ryan and Joe, thank you. I'm going to say 55, thank you. Oh, I switched colors and didn't even realize it. Forgot that this is double-sided, so add a little color to our day, right? Okay, so Joe says, thanks for noticing my post. Surely the NBA could have made an exception for George. He's been outspoken about athletes needing mental health support. Can somebody give me like a summary of what medication it was and what happened? Joe, if you're still in here, can you kind of give me a summary of what's going on just so I'm educated about the situation? Ryan says, I have no flowers, no candy, but what I have is yours. Happy Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's Day to you too. I totally spaced out that it's almost Valentine's Day. That tells you where my mind's at. I do hope that I'm in a position that I can spread some love, maybe not financially, but have a special way to spread love with the community for Valentine's Day. And yes, I still remember that I have the Walter White picture to do. I did not forget the agreement I made for reaching the goal last stream, although afterward I realized that my math was slightly off. Go figure. And we're like $10 short, but I don't care. I made the deal. It was my mistake. So I will definitely still honor it. But yes, I am still going to do it. It's just right now, everything's just raining down on at the same time. And I have to get through like the next few days, particularly, and preferably figure out where that going and get the finances and stuff smoothed out. So I'm hoping I will have better news by the next stream of, hey, this is where we're going and we've stabilized finances and here's your picture, guys, and whatnot. But yeah, so I don't think I need to say my biggest struggle right now. But on a more nuanced note of the overall struggle of getting the notice to vacate and losing this house, for me, it's all the change and all the things and people that I have to say goodbye to right now that is weighing on me the heaviest. So it's not, physically losing the home. That's a big part. The finances are like turning me into a goblin. But it's every time I'm doing something right now, I'm going, oh, I will probably never see this person again. I'll probably never go to this place again. Bryson's going to an event tonight that is part of a group that we've been part of since he was 4 years old, I think, 4 years old, between 4 and 5. And we've been going to it this long. He just turned 15. So it's now we have to say goodbye to these people, and we have to say goodbye to these events that he gets to go to every couple of years. So it's just really difficult to continue having to say goodbye to everything. Like we went over to this little farm near us where they have animals that are kind of rejected from other farms and stuff. So they take in the reject animals, the defunct animals, which is really special to me because I'm like, I wanted the outcast reject little animals too. So there's a little goat over there that we call Derp because she has a little neck problem. Her name's actually Scarlet, but we call her Derp because she's just really cute and derpy. And I just thought, man, I'm never going to see Derp again. And that is what's weighing on me emotionally, is just all the ways I have to say goodbye right now. And I realized I've actually been here in Arizona longer than I was in the town that I consider my hometown. So I was in Lebanon, Missouri from 3rd grade to 10th grade. And I've been down here in the valley for 16 years now. I was up in Shiloh Pine Top for 4 years in the White Mountains, but I've been down here in the Phoenix area for 16 years now. So yeah, there was a whole lot of messages all at once. I'm sorry. Did I go on that long of a ramble that I just got a million messages, or did you guys just all drop in real fast? I see Eugene and Master Rogue. Again, this is why Super Chat and Super Sticker is helpful, not only to help us reach the goal, but because this happens and I get a million messages when I go on a ramble and then poof, I fall behind. Let's see. Hello, Eugene. Your homegirl is losing her marbles over here. The gym is super therapeutic. I wish I could still go. Aaron says, when we get everything stabilized, I want a home gym on the other end. I'm like, my dude, you do realize that like Smile 2 traumatized the absolute hell out of me, right? Like, I do not want a weight set in our general vicinity. And it's going to traumatize David too. I made sure to traumatize David real good too. So now David can't visit either if we have one of those. Don't worry, I won't, Aaron. I won't. I will not be anywhere nearby. Like, whenever you work out, I will be 6 miles away. I'm just kidding. I will work out with you. WT Gardner says, it's good to see you smile a bit again, even with everything you have going on, keeping you and your family in my prayers. I'm really trying to find the reasons to smile. It's hard on some days. It's hard at some times. Today kind of hit one of those crescendos, and we're just trying to keep it together. But thank you. I am trying to find reasons to smile without being inauthentic. Hi, Todd. Oh, Katie. Where's Katie? I see David responding to Katie, but then I don't see Katie. Where's our Katie? My dad has a lot of tattoos, and he has a motorbike, but he's the kindest person, always doing things for others and even animals, as he was an emergency foster for long before his health got bad. That's so sweet. Yeah, I've seen people very involved in humanitarian work, or people that are essential workers, like doctors and stuff, who have a bazillion tattoos. It says absolutely nothing about your character. Yeah, I'm trying to hang in, Todd. That's what I hear from a lot of people with tattoos, is tattoos are all very important to them. Like mine, I'm having this one covered. That is a goal on my list this year, is to have this tattoo covered. But my Triforce stands for power, wisdom, and courage. That's the message of the Triforce from The Legend of Zelda. It also represents me and my parents. So that's just very motivational. It's a very good reminder for me. And then I have, you can't really see it, but it's a puzzle piece with the initials MS in it. Mike Shinoda had drawn it on me, and then I immediately went and had it tattooed just because of the role he played in my healing and recovery, and the role Lincoln Park Chester had played in my recovery and everything. And then I have one on my back that says to infinity. And a former friend had the other half that says and beyond, but it's also a thing between Bryston and I. So now I just look at it that way, although we always say it in French, à l'infini et au-delà, or to infinity and beyond. So those are my little tattoos. I don't know if I can show this one without totally taking my shirt off. The to infinity one in the Disney script. If I don't get pledges for that, I'm like half taking my shirt off because I was showing my shoulder. Do you realize in junior high, showing your shoulder was just considered like harlot behavior? If you had a strap that was any thinner than like the 2 inches, then you were just a slut for showing your shoulders. It was quite amusing, actually. Dean says I was able to pay my bills this month and stay on track for 3 months in a row now. That is my good story. Well, preliminary snaps to who thinks that we should start the snaps. So we're just under halfway. Like I said, I do have to log off at pretty much exactly 5 o'clock so that I can eat before we go to our event. But 50, 60, 70, so we're at 75. I can do math, I promise. We're at 75 out of the 250 goal. I'm going to start up our wins. So if you do want to share a win that you did not post in the community section on that post, I always post something a few days before the stream and allow everyone the opportunity to share their wins over there so I can print them out, put them here in the Snap Cup, and read them on stream. But it comes with this song of Snap Cup time, gather ye round, friends and foes together, united and bound. Pass it to your neighbor instead of blowing up, and you'll find harmony and love in a Snap Cup. So snaps can be for yourself or anyone here in the community. I actually, real fast, I don't think he's in here right now, But we do have a community member who is a in-person friend of mine named Aaron, or Aaron, because he only has one A in his name, so we call him Aaron, as not to confuse him with my fiance. But he did give me permission to share this, that I had helped him get into a detox facility because his insurance wasn't covering it, and there was a whole big drama about that, and he tried so hard. I've watched him try so hard for years to get into a place of sobriety and into a place of healing, and just nothing's working. Not the therapy, not the meetings, nothing was working for him. So he got to go through the detox program and just finished the detox program a couple days ago and called me and was just over the moon, in a really good place. Threw all of the alcohol and stuff in his house away, has been going to meetings, which is helping in conjunction with the detox, created a support system with the other people in there, what they call their dream team. So is moving to I wouldn't even say toward, is right now in a very good place with that. So I know I mentioned it on the last stream, and I wanted to give him very big snaps for doing that work and for sticking with it even when it's hard. So big snaps to Aaron for getting through that detox program and starting his sober life. So let's get snaps for Aaron here in the chat. Master Rogue says, got all 5 of my Katawa I'm butchering this, I'm so sorry. Katawa Shujo models done. All that's left is topping them off for MMD. This is an animation program. That is awesome. Good job. I'm glad that you were able to do that. It feels really good when we complete something that's either important to us or it's just a hobby. It can still be important, right? So big snaps to you. Yes, the rest of the people in my house absolutely hear me. You might be able to hear Aurora being kind of fussy in the background. Melissa RBT says, I survived the weather and made it through week 2 of my 2nd semester of grad school. I also made my teenage daughter laugh when she was having a bad day yesterday. Well, double snaps for that. I keep forgetting. I feel terrible right now because I'm so stuck in my own world that I keep forgetting that the weather is like god awful in other parts of the country right now. So I'm so happy that you made it through that and got through your 2nd semester of grad school. I know the first few weeks for a lot of people are the easiest because they tend to be a little less heavy with assignments and stuff, and it's kind of the quote unquote easier stuff, if there can be easier stuff in grad school. But I think that it's the hardest, like getting into the groove and everything. I always find the first couple of weeks back the hardest until I find my rhythm. So big snaps to you for that. And please give me all the tips on how you made your teenager laugh, because I need all the tips I can get right now for my own 15-year-old. By the way, snaps for Bryston for turning 15 and for, I think, he has been in many ways, despite everything, showing maturity and was able to earn some extra privileges. Right now, there are definitely some challenges going on, but he did earn some extra privileges that were very meaningful to him. And I have been very proud of the way that he was handling some interactions. He was very frustrated the other day with somebody close to him and chose to take time before communicating with that person so he could calm down and everything. So I just want to give snaps to Bryston also while you're talking about teenagers and stuff, for being able, Bryson's my 15-year-old son, for being able to recognize that it's never a good idea to talk to someone about your frustration when you're at the peak of the frustration. So snaps for Bryston. Rora finally pooped. Snaps for Rora. Rora hasn't wanting to be like pooping. My 9-month-old hasn't been wanting to poop lately. So snaps to Aurora for pooping. Good job, baby girl. I just told. I can't even read that out loud, David. Just throw it in my mouth. Ryan says, healing is weird. Some days you're okay and you're doing just fine. Other days it still hurts like it's fresh. Ain't that the truth? It's a process with no definitive time frame. You just have to keep going and know that when all is said and done, you're going to be okay. I had the biggest scare of this past 2 weeks with a heart attack when it put me in the hospital. Now my goal in life is to try to improve. And that's all you can do, is just move in the right direction, take it as a lesson, and do what you can to help your body heal and give your body what it needs to reduce the risk of it happening again. Big snaps. We were very worried about you, Ryan, and I'm happy to see you back and see you moving toward that healing journey. Or moving on that healing journey. You're not toward it, you're on it, right? ARC0606 says, I finally got back into drawing. Yay! It feels so good when you get back into something after a long time of being away. It was like that for me with reading in 2020. I was so happy to get back into reading. Todd says, finally broke down and let everyone see what I am feeling. Good job. Ghost Actual says, my pharmacy are a godsend. I really didn't think they were going to help me out like this, and they didn't have to, but I'm glad they did. Much like 1 year ago, our parking lot is a frozen hellscape. Might be worse this year than last. Hard to say. I wasn't sure that I'd be able to get to the pharmacy for my medication refill. I called them and explained the situation. They told me they'd deliver my medication, took down my new number and address, and within 2 hours, someone came to my door and delivered it. I'm going to remember that for a long time, and I feel like I should do something for them in return to say thank you. I always have that same drive to that when somebody does something like this. I actually had a situation. I'm having to sell my car, like for obvious reasons, and so I went to go take pictures of my car so I could list it, and wound up the service light came on literally as I'm taking pictures. You can't make this shit up. Like literally as I'm taking pictures to list it and sell it because I desperately need money right now for the moving costs, the service light comes on. Are you kidding me? I am in tears because I'm like, it doesn't matter how cheap it is. I can't afford anything right now. Like I'm selling everything I own for $1. I can't afford to go have this serviced right now, right? So the thing comes on, and I am almost in tears. I go over across the street to O'Reilly's. They run the free thing. They run the free pass. And he says, yeah, you just need, it's low on oil or something, and you just need some stuff done. I go over to the place because I swore that I had my oil changed in the last 500 miles. So I went over to have things checked, tears running down my face. And the guy is, I'm going to give you some oil. I'm going to make sure this is taken care of for you. And was very kind to help, like at a great discount and everything, with just the cost of a couple quarts of oil. So I was so unbelievably grateful for that because I was about to just lose my freaking mind. So that was, I get it, how you want to say thank you. I find that if you know the person, baking cookies is always a really good idea. I've always had a lot of luck, either baking cookies or just writing a thank you note. I don't know if you know if it was a specific person or if it's just, the pharmacy. But that's what I like to do personally. But I'm really glad that they went above and beyond. And you're right, that's something that you won't ever forget. I love memories like that of when people step up. Like I have a lot of those here in the community of times when people stepped up when I really needed it, like right now. So yeah, it's good to just sit with it. Think about what feels best for you. Maybe just like I said, writing a heartfelt thank you note, and just being grateful that they did that. You're right, they didn't have to, and that was really kind. And I love random acts of kindness. So big snaps. David said it was good, so great to see Ryan Barron yesterday and hear his voice again. Right, like it made me so happy. And thank you so much, David. Whew. It was good to see Ryan again. It was good to hear his voice because we don't realize that when we talk to someone, that might be the last time we ever hear their voice. That might be the last time we ever see them. We never know. So then when we do get to hear someone's voice again, we do get to see them again. We have to remember how much of a privilege that is, how lucky we are to be able to experience that. Yeah, so we're at the halfway mark, 50, 60, 70, 80, 95, right? 95. So we're getting there. 30 minutes. We'll get there. Katie Play says, I brought myself Play-Doh on recommendation of my therapist after talking about good and bad coping methods. And I talked to her about the constant itching I get on my legs when stressed and the constant want to scratch, that I have multiple scabs on them. And after a week, I can say that it's helped minimize the amount of times I've scratched. But there are still moments where the urge becomes too much, and I'm still working with her for other ways to help. I'm assuming that the Play-Doh is to keep your hands busy so you don't scratch, correct? Like Play-Doh isn't helping alleviate the scratching, correct? I would assume that that's what that is. That's an excellent idea, actually. I never heard of Play-Doh. I've heard of a lot of like little stress balls and things like that, but I've never heard of Play-Doh. So that's actually a great idea because I love the smell of Play-Doh, and maybe it will bring up some nostalgia for you and some comfort for you. I know some scents like that do that for me. So big snaps to you for being able to have that suggestion, to utilize that skill, to have another thing in your toolbox. Big snaps to you. Thank you again, Ryan. Mwah. I love that. It's like riding a little rocket. It's so cute. Oh, for some reason, Ryan, every time you pledge, I guess it's just gonna be in purple. I'm not paying attention, and I just pulled the cap off, and I guess it's in purple. Ryan's special. Thank you, though. Seriously. Actually, yeah, Play-Doh would help with smoking. I mean, it would have the same idea that it's something to do with your hands. Suckers, I hear, really help with smoking, although, I mean, that can become a problem if you're having too many of those a day. But yeah, I wish Play-Doh tasted better. You can actually home make Play-Doh and flavor it. I've done that before. It's still not super great, but you can do it. But yeah, anything that you can do with your hands. So any kind of fidget would be great. I know that pretty much any place has fidgets. You can go to the dollar store and get fidgets these days. So yeah, the sugar would actually exacerbate. That's something that I have argued for a long time. Suckers work if you are a light smoker, like you just have a cigarette or two a day. But if you're a heavy smoker and you're smoking 3 packs a day, the sugar from the suckers could actually spike your anxiety even more, which would make you crave cigarettes more. So that could backfire, actually, if you're a heavy smoker. Okay. David Gap says, my elderly neighbor gave me an Xmas card gift for the help I do for her. I used it to spoil myself and bought Walker's Watsits, my favorite crisp from the UK. Brings back great memories. That's what that was. David sent me a picture of this, and I'm going, what is this? And I didn't have time to respond at the time, but that makes sense. I'm really glad that you took the time to spoil yourself and didn't, spend that on something functional, that you spent that gift card on something just to make yourself feel a little better and comfort yourself a little bit, because it's so easy to just say, oh, well, I need to go buy detergent or dish soap or whatever it is, shampoo, and then you don't use the gift card as a gift to yourself. Although, taking those things off your plate can be a great gift also. But I'm very proud of you for using that for something personal and not something practical. They're really popular here as well, James. James, it's been a while since I've seen you. Hello. Ashkar says it'll be a win if I make it to Sunday. Well, now I need to know that Ash is in here. Ash, you in here? Because now I'm going to be worried. And I need to give you your win for making it to today. So please, please, please tell me you're in here, because my poor little heart and brain can't take worrying about you for the rest of the day. So please either message me or message me on Pango if you don't see this until later. I need to know that you're okay. Like my anxiety, my well-being right now needs to know that you're okay. Tastes and smells can be powerful memory. Smell is actually the number one sense attached to memory. So yeah, it can trigger incredibly powerful emotions attached to memory. For me, old Vicks, not the new formula, but I have a jar of the Vicks that my mom carried in her purse, and that is a nostalgia trigger for me. T Montgomery says, by Sunday, I'll be out of here and in a safer place. I'm going to give you the snaps for that, but I expect an update here in the chat to confirm that you are safe and out of your bad situation. But I'm so happy that you finally got there. I really, really am. Yeah, I haven't seen Ash either. Now I'm worried. She does purchase things on Pango, so sometimes she messages me on there, which I'm hoping that she reaches out to me, because now I'm worried. I'll reach out to her after the stream and send an email. And that actually, by the way, that is my win for the week. Was I had been running sales on my Poshmark and my Pango, and I ended up getting 49 books sold in 48 hours. Now, if you guys have seen, if you've been on a stream where I've happened to get a book sale in the middle of stream and you see me get all like ridiculously giddy about it, I was just over the moon because number one, it's helping clear things out right now. Number two, it's helping raise money for the situation right now. And number three, it's just dopamine hits when I see the sale notice pop up, and then I clicked my phone to see if I had one. Like on impulse. That's my dopamine chaser. It's not social media. It's, have I got a Posher Pango sale today? Especially right now. I'm like, yes. But 49 books sold in 48 hours. And it's really good for the environment because it's keeping books out of landfills and encouraging people to buy used instead of new for clothes and books with the Poshmark and Pango. David, can you drop the links in here for me, please? Those are below if you're watching this later, but I am still running the sales. So if you're needing new clothes, you want a new book to read, it's a very, very, very great way to support me right now because, like I said, it's helping me purge to prepare for my move, but also helping raise money for the situation. David will drop it here in a second. Last, thank you so much. Autistic Warrior, are you still in here? I haven't seen you in a little bit. I finally got through all my summatives. The only exam I had was on Friday, and I'm so relieved to have that over with. My sister's doing a septal co-op with the Canadian Armed Forces. I don't know what that means, as a reservist, and was sworn in yesterday along with other co-op students. I consider myself to be a pacifist. Like, I take the phrase would never hurt a fly very literally. So although I'm not completely against her joining, I'm not favorable of it either. Update, I just got the Eternal Blue album and the Fear of Fear EP by Spirit Box. Ghost Actual is a huge Spirit Box fan too, I happen to know. So I bet Ghost Actual and Autistic Warrior are gonna bond over this one. I also got to watch the live premiere of Motionless in White's new single, Afraid the Dark. Would totally recommend reacting to. So many snaps there for getting through the summative, for holding space. I know that it can be very difficult when someone we love does something that we feel is dangerous or we don't agree with, but kudos to you for trying to understand and hold space for her, even though it goes against what you believe. I think that's really beautiful. And I'm glad that you have got to feel some healing and loving and positive energy through the music. So big snaps to that. Thank you. Do you need, hang on, I don't think David has my Poshmark actually, so let me grab that real fast too. Okay, so I posted, my God, if anybody wants to help out and they know anybody that is small and is getting married, I have a wedding dress I need to sell. I am happy to do offers or bundles or something. Like I take reasonable offers, but for my mental health, for space for the move and for the finances, I've got to get rid of this thing. But it's on my my Pango. I ended up finding pictures to post for this that weren't ones I took, but that were of a model. And the model looks like the freaking Smile, the first victim in the first Smile movie. And I hate it. I hate it. So now I just opened Poshmark and had to get traumatized by that. So thanks a lot, guys. You better make some orders now because I am traumatized having to look at my own Poshmark pictures. But there's the Poshmark, and David just posted anyways. But yes, that is a huge way to help the community right now. And you can watch me if you do it while I'm still on stream. You'll watch me get all giddy. But yeah, there's a variety of clothes and accessories and collectibles and stuff on there. And then Pango is exclusively books. So thank you. Don't, Demon. Don't. Just take my advice and don't. Did I say the F word? Did I say the F word? I don't think I said the F word, but maybe. Oh, are we down to our last snap? Last snap. Phoenix, AKI, says, this week, the only win I have going on is that I persevered through what was, by most accounts, a shitty week. But it's worth valuing that as a win in itself. Absolutely, yeah. Just was one of those weeks. It was a perfect storm of a lot of different things going wrong all in a row, and it really tested my patience and endurance. I'm right there with you. But I'm entering the weekend now on much higher spirits, ultimately. Big snaps to you for enduring it. Believe me, I know what it's like to get through a really crappy week where everything is just happening all at once, and it feels like the sky is falling, and you just feel like you're going nuts. And you get to the other side of it, and your spirits are higher. I cannot wait, guys. For the first stream when I'm in a new house on the other side of all this crazy. I am in a better energy and better spirits, like my stress levels are lower. Let's manifest that, shall we? Like, let's bring that energy into existence. But yes, I'm very happy for you that you are having higher spirits. I do not, T. Montgomery. I do not at all. No, thank you. No, thank you. The last week has been bad. Yeah, the last week has been pretty awful. I'm just sitting here trying to really look for the wins. And I will say that having a gratitude practice, like a long-standing gratitude practice, has been very helpful. Let's see, we are at, what's my streak on that one? I have wild streaks on things. So my gratitude streak right now is at 1,584 days. And having that really helps me because every day I'm forced to try and think of new things to add to it so I can keep my streak. And it can't just be, oh, I'm grateful for, my family. It has to be something specific to that day. And doing that has really helped because it's rewired my brain to look for things to add to that at the end of the day. So that's really helped just to find the little things right now. Like Bryce and I got to sit next to, we have a little lake that we go to, and there's a specific little place where we sit next to the little stream area, and we'll read, right now we're reading Magnus Chase together, so we'll read that with me and him and Aurora, and it's just our little thing. And last time we were over there walking, and I got to see a friend of mine that I probably won't get to see very many more times before I leave, so that was just a really awesome little experience. So that was one of my little itty bitty wins. It's very important to pay attention to the little itty bitty wins. This feels crazy that we only have 15 minutes left. Whew. Steve says 13 years, the current house is paid off. My first baby house built from scratch. I want to move, but I will always wonder who is here, what are they doing, etc. Well, first and foremost, not Steve for paying your house off and everything, and for building that baby house and everything. But yeah, that's where I'm at. Is I'm looking forward to the next chapter. I'm looking forward to getting to the new place, but I'm also sitting here going, oh, I'm really going to miss so many things that I didn't even think about until they're on the chopping block, Steve says, I do look forward to a new environment. I know I won't regret it. Too comfortable here. Time for some chaos again, right? See, there's too much chaos here, and I'm ready for some peace. I'm the exact opposite. I want an adventure, but I also want peace. Does that make sense? I just realized you guys can't see the whole thing. So 125, 35, 4. So we're at 145, right? 120, 30, 45. Yeah. So little over halfway, right? Yeah, a little over halfway. God. Like I said, I can't even follow The Office right now, so doing math on the fly. There's drunk nangaming. Drunk gaming. Question, what should I do if a female friend I've known for 20 years suddenly stops messaging? I love her as a friend, but it hurts. I tried super chat, but an error occurred. I'm sorry that that happened, by the way, that there was some kind of error. Hopefully that gets figured out. Well, first and foremost, you said suddenly, so I'm assuming something didn't happen to trigger this. Do you have any way of checking in? Because I'm assuming that you're worried first and foremost about her safety. So my first order of business would be, is there someone that you can check in with to make sure that she's okay? Second, I know this is kind of a stretch, but I've had this happen with friends before where for some reason, actually I just had this happen last week. I have a really good friend named Jimmy that I hadn't seen in a long time, and he asked me to tag him in my GoFundMe post, because we have a GoFundMe for the situation, and he asked me to tag him in it on Facebook, and I go to tag him and realize that he's not on my friends list. I went, what? And for some reason he got deleted. So I would make sure that something like that hasn't happened. If there's a way to, assuming that this isn't a product of a big argument or something, if there's a way to stop by, I don't know if they're nearby, to stop by and check in and see, where they're at mentally. She posts on Facebook. Okay. Is she not responding to text or Facebook messages? She just suddenly cut you off and there's no seeming reason. Is that what I'm understanding? T. Montgomery says, at least you've got good things to look back on. I've wasted the past 15 years. Oh, my love, I wasted my 20s entirely. I drank and snorted my 20s and part of my 30s away. So I totally understand that, mentality. Amanda playing as Elle is a W? What? Like Elle Woods? I mean, this is kind of pink, right? I have the snap cup. I have a chihuahua floating around. Yeah, that's really strange, Drunk Man Gaming. If she's local, I honestly think that it would be worth just, checking in. Don't be creepy and like follow her or anything, but it might be worth just swinging by and saying, hey, I was worried about you. I just want to make sure everything's okay. I would give it a couple days if she's posting and stuff before doing anything like that. Don't spam her and don't, go over to her house and harass her or anything. But you're well within reason to be concerned about what's going on, and you're well within your reason, especially when you've been friends for so long, to want answers and to have understanding, so long as you're being respectful about reasonable boundaries and stuff. Maybe asking a mutual friend or something if you have any. Oh gosh, Eugene says had panic attack last week because there's a huge chance I may be going to nursing home soon. I definitely want to hear more about that, so please tell me what's going on there. It could be better to wait, Demon. I'm not saying go over there immediately. That's what I was saying. Please, give it a little bit of time. So if it's just she hasn't messaged right back, maybe I all the time will look at my messages, especially right now, and go, okay, I'm going to respond to that later. And then I don't respond to it later because I get distracted and the ADHD brain just squirrels off. So yeah. Oh gosh, yeah. So if it's been a week, I would definitely try to find a way to check in. You should check out Ella Langley, Warrant for the Wind. It's a good song. Duly noted. Katie says, Amanda, any advice with dealing with close family not talking and feeling stuck in the middle? Is this a situation of, what do you mean by being stuck in the middle? I need a little more context to be able to give advice there. Yeah, we have 9 more minutes. I want to make sure that I answer these questions as best as I can before I have to leave. Hopefully we'll hit the goal. And P.S. If anybody does do Posh or Pango orders, I will include that as part of the goal. Oh, I can understand that, Eugene. Do you have any control if you do end up going to some sort of assisted living? Do you have control over which one you go to? Because some of them are really freaking nice. Like some of them, you know what? I will powder my hair gray and check in, but I can definitely understand why it's so frightening because there's such a loss of control and autonomy. My mom was a activity director at a nursing home, so I definitely grew up in several of them. So I do understand how it can be very frightening to lose that freedom and autonomy. But I hope that you have some control in choosing which one you go to so that you can at least, if you do have to go, you get to choose one of the ones that's basically like a resort. Good night, Ryan. We're looking into options. I'm glad you have options. I know that that's not much, but it is a small win in a very stressful, overwhelming, mentally draining situation. I hope that helped, Drunk Man Gaming. I hope that that answered your question and gave some sort of insight. Honestly, it's just finding the balance between, spam texting and having the reasonable desire to check in and know how a friend's doing. I would want somebody to check in on me. If I just suddenly stopped texting someone close to me, I would want them to come check in on me in some way. So I don't think that's out of reason, in this situation. Eugene says, my biggest fear is that I won't see my kids on a regular basis. I would talk to them about that. That's a very reasonable fear. I talk to them about that and let them know that that's very important to you, and maybe have some kind of a plan, like some kind of schedule, so that you can anticipate that regularly. I did see Katie plays this question. Is anybody else having skipping? Am I skipping? Hopefully not. Yeah. Aurora's fussing. Aaron's making dinner, and yeah, I do have to pump. My pump schedule lines up to where I end up having to pump like right after stream, so I'm gonna have to eat and pump and then drive to our event. Okay, good. Stable for you guys. David's is just janky for some reason. I am hungry too, actually. Katie says my older sister called social services on my mom because my 18-year-old little brother had a mental health episode and hurt himself, but mom's mad and not talking to her. Oh, that's so frustrating. Okay, so my older sister called social services on my mom. So little brother had a mental episode, hurt himself, and mom's mad for calling social services. That's a really frustrating place to be in the middle of, because I can understand both sides for sure. And it's not fair that you have to get stuck in the middle of that. That's really not fair. I do think that I'm trying to, are they putting you in the middle as in they're trying to make you take sides, like on whether or not it was appropriate to call social services? Because when someone is having a mental health crisis, and take this from someone who is well-versed in the mental health sphere, if someone's having a mental health crisis, it is better to be safe than sorry, and make sure that you are, as I always say, getting them the help that they deserve. So I'm definitely on the side of making sure that they are safe and that they are getting help, even if it is uncomfortable in the short term. But I certainly do understand how the other person can be very frustrated for, maybe she did that without, talking to mom first. She did that against mom's wishes. I can understand why that would be upsetting for mom, because she feels like she's losing control. In this case, honestly, I know that it's very hard for a lot of people to hear, but I think that this is one of those situations where the best thing that you can do is sit them down together. So there's not like he said, she said, hearsay. Sit them down together and have talk about where you're coming from and let everybody feel heard on this. But talk about what the plan should be. Come up with a plan together of, if something like this happens again, get everyone on the same page as to what everyone's role is, right? So that makes everyone feel important when it's like, okay, Katie's going to do this, mom's going to do this, sister's going to do this, and make sure that he's safe. So whether it's calling, authorities or social services, or it's, okay, these are the measures we're going to do to make sure that he's safe. I think coming up with a safety plan together, and obviously including him as well, coming up with a safety plan together, so that if it does happen again, validate where the person's coming from now. Because if you try to fight each person, all they're going to do is really dig their heels in. So fighting isn't really going to get you anywhere, but allowing each person to feel validated and feel heard in their frustration, and then coming up with a plan for the future, saying, can't change this and what happened, but how should we handle this moving forward? That would be my best suggestion. Steve says, my mom was going through Alzheimer's and some members of the family had a hard time at first, took things personally. Now they're better understanding what is going on. It does take people some time to understand. And that's actually a really good point, that it might be prudent to talk to whichever, I'm assuming mom was frustrated that the authorities got called, from my understanding. So I think it would be prudent to ask mom some questions and to just give some information on his mental health condition, on, if it's just a general depressive episode, on that, so that she is informed on why that's important. And I would give it to her from a third party, like some kind of WebMD or a Psychology Today or something that is information outside of just opinion, that is studies and factual information. My older sister said mom asked her to call, but my mom said she didn't, but they both come to help me and dad, but won't come at the same time and don't work when have an epileptic seizure. Well, hopefully what I said makes sense and gives some insight to how I would handle that situation. Unfortunately, I only have 2 minutes, so I don't have time to dive further into questions. But feel free to leave them in the comment section. I will try really hard to read them when possible, when I have an epileptic seizure. And don't. Oh, first and foremost, I hope that you are safe, that you have a safety plan for when you have seizures, if they're not willing to help, from my understanding. Like I said, if you are needing further insights, make sure that you are leaving a comment below, and I will do my best to get to that. You can email, but I'm kind of falling behind on emails too, guys. I'm so sorry. My dad was like that too, Laos, that he would get very frustrated if we called 911. So before this last minute lapses, if you want to make a pledge later to get us to try and meet our goal, the information on how to do so is in the description of these videos. So if we do hit it, I will post over in the community that we hit it. So make sure that you are doing those pledges, or like I said, it is very, very helpful to support the Posh and Pango shops right now. Thank you guys so much. Oh, Resident Rescuer checked in and I have to go. I'm so sorry. I have to get off exactly at 5 tonight. But thank you guys so much for the support, and I love you so much. I'll see you in a couple weeks, hopefully with some better news. I will see you soon. Okay. Crisis averted.